What's up guys, Kavil here and I'm back with another tutorial, and today we are going to make some good healthy vegetables. So let's start from blender, and today I'm thinking of making a tomato. I have already made that for my previous project. So I'm going to teach you the same thing. So as you can see, I have already made this, but for this we are going to use a new file. So tomatoes are between you know uh, roughly around the shape of, we don't need this much actually. Let's go by 16 by 16 and 8, and let's bring this down to 50 mm. So now tomato is between somewhere 50 mm to 70 mm. That's what I search. Let's put it big right here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all this. Let's save project first. Let's call that tomato 2. Yeah, I spelled tomato wrong, I guess. Tomato. Okay. So every individual, every other line, but be careful not to select this part and this part. So let's keep on doing this. Right there. I think it's done. Now what you're going to do is alt. Let's check scale first. Yeah, it's all good. Alt S and slightly bring this in, something like that here. After that we are going to delete this vertex. I'm actually going to delete this vertex too, and let's select both of these, go to loop tools and do it as circle. So after this, actually you know what, let's do one thing. Yeah, let's do something like this. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a subdivision modifier of 3, and I'm going to enable this all the functions, so in edit mode I get the shape, or else you won't get it. See, I'm going to take this, going to extrude this, scale inside, and now I'm going to turn this into a circle, something like this. Extrude it down, scale, and try to adjust it in a good way, something like this. And just you can either do face, or the thing I do is better than normal fill is a grid fill. So this part is done. What we can do is just scale in a bit. As you can see, it does look kind of too strong. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete the first edge. Let's go the bottom, and I can just do the same thing here, grid fill. I'm going to do the same thing here, but a bit different way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this edges, Alt S, and I'm going to even this out so that's not too much, uh, not too much of hard shape here. So let's do that. Something like this should be fine. Alt S and just bring this out, just make this smoother, something like that should be fine. Yep. So you don't actually have to worry about the shape because tomatoes come in really different types of shapes actually. So I'm going to add a plane. Oops, too much. And this is just to bring this down actually. So let's go into face select, GZ control. It is on the ground, we can delete it. I am going to add a lattice. Okay, and now let's add a lattice modifier, and this is just to scale this bit down on this direction. It's too much I guess actually, so let's something like this. This just to deform the shape a little bit, that's all. Let's apply it and delete this. Now let's move on to making some stems or leaves. So let's select this as our main point and take a circle with 5 vertices and 20 mm should be fine I guess. Yep. So yeah, a little less than 20 mm. So okay, so now what we have to do is select our vertices, extrude, scale this in a bit and then extrude it on the Z axis. Now what you can do is delete all these vertices and just you have to keep only this in your viewport. So let's go in, select the outside vertices, let's go into array. I can bring this down a little bit. Okay, so let's try to follow the shape of the tomato. Something like this. Let's do something like this. I'm sure you can do pretty much better than me actually, because I suck at organic modeling. So I guess this is should be fine, right? Yep. So I'm going to scale this down, something like this. I'm going to delete this part. Actually no, let's just isolate this. So face and face, and let's delete this part. Okay, so let's come back here and scale this a bit. This might not be the perfect, but something like this. Yeah, something like this should work actually really fine. So what we are going to do next is I'm just going to delete this. Let's go into edit mode. 7 for the top view, and please keep in mind, don't change the original these vertices. Please don't scale it or something. Don't do it, because it's going to be really important when we do this. So select this pin and go into Z, and we only need 5, so 5 steps here. And just, oh shit, uh, so you have to select the all and just move a slight bit, and then without clicking anywhere, you have this option. Just go here, click on use duplicates, so it collapses, and angle amount to 360. So now you have this perfect. You just have to select all M and by distance, so you have 38 vertices deleted that were overlapping. So this is done. As you can see, it works really well actually. So after that, what you can do is you can just select both of these. As you can see, this might not be the suitable geometry, so extrude and bring it down a bit, and then just go into loop tools. What you can also do is you can just snap this down, and you can also bring this one down a bit too. Something like this. Then just go in, extrude out, extrude in, and there's usually something, a small gap or something like that. Yeah, so as you can see, there's some edges are not touching while some are touching, so you can actually, let's change view clip start to 0 so that we see everything. Now you can really modify this. Let's bring this down, something like that, you know bring this down. And what else we can do is, just we can bring the whole thing actually a bit down, something like this. It doesn't have to necessarily, have to touch the tomatoes. You can definitely scale it and readjust it. Something like this should, this looks fine to me, but you can definitely do better than me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add an environment texture. So yeah, I'm just going to add a small plane, just to reflect some light. then I'm going to go into render mode. Just going to turn off this denoise vertical split, and let's start with tomato first. Oops. Oh my god, should I edit? Yes. Let's hit save one more time. So the first thing we have to do is, we have to use two colors, and which is red and a slight bit of orange. The tomatoes are a bit of orange, and it is sort of gradient between a raw tomato and a fully ripened tomato. So what we are going to do is we are going to use layer weight. We are going to use the funnel node to something like this should be fine, and this is all up to you, by the way. I'm going to share this file anyway, so no need to worry. Let's go to color ramp, and we want a black color. We can do a full red, so which is proper tomato, and we can also bring this bit dark, and then let's go to white one, and we can make this a good healthy orange, a bit brighter actually. As you can see, we can't see the orange that much because this is one thing we can do. All we can do is if we change this amount, it will mix this gradient properly, but we don't want this. So something like this should work, but I think the orange is too much, so let's back it out a bit. Let's do this much, and then something like this should work. So as you can see, we are almost there. Yeah, I guess orange is too much. Let's add a camera, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a sort of square camera. And okay, so there's our window, so I'm going to do something like this. Okay, this should be fine. Let's turn off the wireframe actually. So now you can see it does look like a tomato, but a plastic one. So for that we have to decrease roughness about 0.2 or 0.1 should 0.15 works really fine, I guess, because oops, yeah, 0.15, yeah, because let's see why our camera looks a bit of so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a subsurface of 0.0028, I guess, sorry, and I'm going to plug in the same color. Or what you can do is you can just skip it to 1 and then try to really bring it down. I still feel the orange is too much, so what we're gonna do is we can just bring this out here. I think now it looks proper. Let's go into noise. Yeah, this looks fine to me, but you can definitely go and make changes over here. So let's stop at that. We don't have to play with anything with anything else actually. Although what you can try is, for this extra fine, you can just give a good clear coat amount. Let's save this. Let's move on to this part. So what we are going to do is, I'm just going to make this a dark green with, let's increase the subsurf. mm, and then what I want to do is, this should be a full sorry, not this, a full rough. uh, so now let's go back to the modeling process, and we are not going to use any geometry nodes because I find that hair system are actually better for this. So let's apply the scale. uh, let's give it to 1000 for now, and let's try to dial it down. So now it's on 0. 0.1 is looking really fine. I don't need so many, so let's go. Yeah, it is path, and we are going to use an entirely different material for this. So what have Blender has done is, they are not continuing with the hair info node, which actually, to realize that took me a lot of time, almost an hour. I was trying to find that node, but I think they have discontinued that node. So what I used to do before this, I used to uh, take the hair info node and use the intercept node, I guess, to determine the hair color. But I have found another better way. I think most of you will know that. So let's go with that. So uh, what else we can do is, okay, hair dynamics, there's nothing there, so we have to switch it on volume and turn this to random. Use modifier as tech, or I guess don't actually. Everything is good. I'm looking for I always forget this. Where is that brown option? Add shape. Okay. One thing else we can do is, it's going to random mode. So this thing we have to scale down. Oh yeah, this is fine. Yeah, this is now fine. So after that, let's create on B spline actually. So yeah, Brahmin. Physics, yeah. So in physics, just try to, so 0.0, just you don't have to have like a perfect thing, but I try to divide it by a number so that for this what you can do is you can just increase the segments. Why is everything open? Yep. Yeah, something like this should work. So now comes the number, and I had originally kept it about like 20,000. No, it was more than this actually. 200,000 should be fine, but be pretty careful actually. So after this, just vertical split, and we'll add another material. This might take a long time because of the hair particles, so I'm going to rename this as obviously hair or particle, whatever you want to. Maybe hair. Shade editor. I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to add a new node, principal hair, and this is really pretty good. So let's turn the default color to white. Saturation, IOR or IOR of around 1 should be fine, I guess. So you might be like thinking, so what does this node does? It isn't showing anything over here. I'll tell you why I like this node. Okay, so now it's green and it does look like fur, but the most important thing I forget is to go into the material, and I forgot where the material was, so just okay, select on hair. As you can see, there is this white frosting, and we have to turn the roughness all over, maybe a slight down here. I feel this is too much, so let's and the diameter also is too much, so let's do that too. So yeah, this is not the face, this is actually the light itself. Let's go to home, and yeah, definitely my leaf isn't really good, but I think let's have a render and then see what we are looking at actually. So let's go. I think I can actually modify this a bit. Okay, so let's take this one going to just bring this down, something like this. I'm not going to do this entirely, but yeah, about this much should look fine to me. And let's go to compositing, view nodes, denoising. Let's insert a denoise node, albedo. Let's have a first test render. I already had done that, but 42 seconds, I guess. So as you can already see, it is reflecting the plane, which is good actually. And right now it looks like a perfect tomatoes, but what I can do is okay, one more thing I noticed is we are using a too much of roughness. It actually is looking like a mirror, which should not be happening. So let's increase our roughness a bit. We can also increase a subsurface, and we should totally decrease our hair system. And I feel like it is plugging directly into the shader rather than the principal shader, so it looks a bit fake. So let's try to fix that. Let's go into the layer. So first with this, let's 2.2. What we can do is, we can just divide this by, so it's much less. I don't know what this offset does, so I'm not going to. Okay, so random roughness I can do 1.5, bit too rough. Let's do this 4.5. Yeah, it looks better now, and I can just do one more thing. I can just render it out something like this, or what I can do is, let's not do this the whole. I'm going to add another layer node. bring this out. Something like this. Color ramp. Just a, I want just a hard line. Something like this. Should work actually. So what I'm going to do now is let's create the proper camera. Let's go and I'm going to move this both aside. Let's turn off the particle system actually. It's becoming a bit heavy. Yes, I'm just going to move this something like this, and here I'm going to create a UV sphere. So this ones will be like just a preview sort of thing, and don't worry, I'm not going to do a particle system on that. So let's bring this was something like that, and I'm going to extrude this something like this. I do want to turn this something like this and a bit. Only for this much height we can do something like that too. Or we can just get it. We can also do a quick bevel. And then just hit the render button and let's see what comes up. So as you can see, this is why I made this ball, it looks still sort of still so smooth, and I think I know why. Just get rid of this clear coat. This should look fine now. uh, so as you can see, it looks now it looks like a perfect factory grown tomato. But what you can do is you can actually add surface imperfection, like small scratches or a slight bit of roughness or something like that. What you can also do is, to make your renders look good, you can uh, uh, use some water droplets on the top. Okay, so the stem part is actually looking bit weird. The tomato is looking fine. Not happy with the stem part. So what we can do is, yeah, we can totally change. I think this green is not very uh, exact color what a tomato stem is. Let's 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 try to find some tomato images. As you can see, I've been already working on this. I don't know what this is. So as you can see, it is pretty light. Okay, we can definitely make the particle system a bit high. So let's go here. Let's turn on this. Let's multiply by 2, and we can divide this by 2. So what you can do is, if you're facing same problem, you can just go, I'm just going to click here and select up 2%. So looks fine to me now. Let's go to the render mode, change this to shader. So let's delete all this principal. Let's go with the principal. This video has been already been long enough. It took almost 1 hour to make me this. Let's see how it comes. And don't worry if you know you can't watch this full video. I'm going to anyway link this file in the description, so you can use it for your projects. And yeah, it's totally free. You can do whatever with whatever you want to do with it. So this is about to take almost 2 minutes. Let's see how it turns out. I do not see my particle system though. I don't know what has happened. It's 5000 less. do this all 1100 actually. Let's just render this part only. So it does say viewport display, but then it does not come in render also, so I don't know what is happening there. But yeah, tomato is looking actually fine. Not great, it's looking fine, but since it's already a hour past, so I'm just going to just call this a day. This part also should be white. Let's have a full render once more, then we can call it a day. You can also, what you can do is also add a displacement texture to the tomato to give it a variation. And what you can do is, if you want to make different types of tomatoes, is you can just duplicate it, change the texture, or in edit mode you can make duplicates of it, so then it automatically changes the textures, and then you can just apply it and separate the selection parts. It looks better as a whole image, I guess. I wanted to make a good scene, like few tomatoes and a cutting board and everything, but it's too long now, so I'm also not going to edit this footage because I really have a lot of things to do, so I'm just going to just post this video as it is, and let me know what you think of it. uh, if you like this video, just it will meant a lot to me if you just hit the subscribe button. And if you have any suggestions, you can just comment it, that would be great. And this file is in the description for free. And yeah, thanks a lot for this, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Peace.